Magic-driven RPGs on the horizon are shaping worlds built around spells, myth, and fantasy power. Here's a look at the upcoming RPGs where magic stands at the center of the journey. Let's get into it. Lost Hellden presents a hand-painted fantasy world shaped by ritual, sin, and rebirth. Combat follows a phase system that blends real-time action with tactical decision-making. The story centers on reclaiming identity while confronting forces tied to the 7 deadly sins. Exploration, character growth, and narrative progression form the heart of its RPG structure.
Have you ever wondered why the formation of the barrier...
Gothic 1 Remake reimagines the Valley of the Minds as a reactive, handcrafted open world. The setting emphasizes freedom, danger, and social factions that respond to player actions. Progress comes through survival, alliances, and hard-earned strength rather than guided paths. The remake preserves the original's harsh tone while modernizing its systems.
Every convict will eventually succumb to its influence. The old camp, with their pitiful illusion of order and safety. And yes, the so-called Brotherhood of the Sleeper, worshipping their mysterious god. They might be onto something. And the orcs. Well, you might dismiss their culture as primitive, but it would be prudent to study them carefully. Maybe the key to all of this lies buried deep under their sanctuaries. I cannot unravel these mysteries all alone. I need allies. Allies who look out for more than their own survival. Allies who accomplish things you might have considered impossible. Allies I will meet soon enough.
Beast of Reincarnation is set in a ruined, post-apocalyptic Japan where humanity faces extinction. The journey follows a lone outcast and her loyal dog through hostile landscapes. Combat emphasizes precision, timing, and mastery rather than raw power. The narrative explores survival, identity, and what it means to remain human.
西暦4026年、人類は滅亡を待つのみ。封じ子エマ、お前こそが輪廻の獣を滅ぼす刃となる。
Aion 2 is positioned as a large-scale online RPG set far in the future of the original world. The game is framed around open conflict, shared battle spaces, and player freedom without strict faction limits. Combat and movement are expected to feel more vertical, with flight and gliding woven directly into how battles play out. It points toward a dynamic MMO focused on ongoing player interaction and ever-changing systems.
아트레이아의 하늘이 다시 열린다. 이제 당신이 날아오를 시간.
Welcome to Mir 5, the Mir series game introducing
Mir 5 moves the Mir series forward as a large-scale online role-playing game built around a shared, persistent world. The setting is expected to span a vast fantasy continent, where progression develops over long periods of play. Player activity appears tied to shifting regions, ongoing conflict, and control over land and resources. Key systems like the economy, territory, and community evolve as the world reacts to player activity and technology-driven mechanics.
But Asterion is no ordinary boss. Artificial intelligence enables Asterion to analyze the player's information, identify unique skills of each player, and determine who to attack first. Asterion recalls past battles similar to the current situation. It then determines the most probable course of action to achieve victory. Asterion adapts, attacking with unpredictable patterns. It cannot be defeated twice with the same strategy. Welcome to Mir 5. Are you ready to face?
Project E is an MMORPG set in a world connected to the same universe as Throne and Liberty. The game is framed around a new continent with its own history, culture, and conflicts shaped by shared lore. Visuals and scale suggest large multiplayer spaces where many players gather for major events. The tone points toward a mythic, story-driven world inspired by Eastern fantasy traditions. Light No Fire unfolds on a single fantasy planet built at massive scale. The world supports exploration, survival, building, and long-term character progression. Mountains, oceans, and ruins exist as part of one continuous landmass. The experience centers on discovery, cooperation, and shaping a shared fantasy world over time.
Where the hell did that goblin go? Search the area.
Styx Blades of Greed continues the series' focus on stealth and infiltration. Environments allow multiple paths and approaches to each objective. New abilities support deception, movement, and silent kills. Planning and patience remain central to success.
You won't be able to hide forever, Styx!
Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection builds on the Rider-style RPG formula. Raising monsters, forming bonds, and turn-based battles return as core systems. The story places more weight on conflict and balance between creatures and riders. Exploration supports steady character growth.
Preserved as much as you have is something to be applauded. Sights like this are a forgotten memory for us in Vermeil.
If Vermeil is to survive, our people need help now. If nothing else, the Sacrosanctum offers them the hope they need to live. I will not idly sit on the throne as our nation faces its death.
This has to stop!
Oh, Eleanor.
What? Don't do this!
A sky scale. It has been many years.
That woman with the Rathalos. I'm certain she was my mother. Why did she come here? For what reason did she cross the Meridian?
You're not the only one here who's curious about Lady Amara.
The future of Azuria rests on your shoulders, and you sat yourself down right in front of an assassin. Are you out of your mind?
I know this is a lot to take, but just try to remember the old saying. Wings of curiosity take you farther than a cage of caution.
Has the encroachment truly caused so much destruction over there? Scores of villages have been consumed by crystal. The capital is flooded with refugees, with nowhere to rest their heads.
Our village has long kept these canines as our wards. This is a threat to our very way of life. The dwindling of our canine population, the onset of feral beasts. All of it started when that monster came to this land. No, it would be more fitting to call it a force of nature.
This is it.
The living mountain, Yamatsukami.
Alkahest is presented as a grounded medieval action RPG, where close combat takes priority. Melee encounters emphasize weight, timing, and physical interaction with the environment. Alchemy and crafting systems are positioned as key survival tools. The overall direction favors realism and deliberate pacing over spectacle.
Millions of souls pour into the underworld every day.
Swords of Legends Online is set in a fantasy world, shaped by Chinese mythology and ancient legends. The world appears driven by magic, cultivation, and spiritual growth. Combat seems to mix martial arts with spellcasting through distinct class systems. Story quests and mythic themes guide progression across supernatural lands.
Shall gather the souls that stray.
I've watched over this city for ages, and every name in your scroll of death. Not one of them dies quietly. You, a soulless husk. You can judge my fate! Why wrestle rogues when their artifacts can do what brute strength cannot?
What? The soulless husk?
The living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Here we go again.
The Legend of Jin Yong brings classic wuxia legends into a vast open-world setting inspired by famous Chinese novels. The world is expected to reflect famous locations and characters drawn from Jin Yong's stories with strong cultural detail throughout. Combat is framed around traditional techniques and personal mastery rather than fast spectacle. The journey is presented as a long-form adventure shaped by legend, history, and rivalry.
夜短心长同一尊，刀马就是梦江山。
Blood Message is framed as a focused, story-driven action-adventure centered on danger and sacrifice. The narrative follows a lone messenger crossing hostile territory during a time of upheaval. Combat and traversal support a cinematic structure. Atmosphere and emotional tension define the experience.
到长安，能点亮天上的星河。
大唐离我们太远了，神佛还会庇佑河西吗？
我是认真决定的，我还是想再试一次。今日我们所流的血，是为了把大唐带回来。我们必须在破城之前把宁带出来。
娘，阿娘！
阿远，我将追随杀出一举。
去长安，你这是让他们去送死！
输赢成败，皆如沙上之塔，风来即散。为众生之苦，长漫于天地之间。
回家吧，这一切毫无意义。
天命所归，我才是大唐。
到头来，除了死更多人，什么都不会改变。
没有我的帮助，你走不出这片沙漠。如果神不肯拯救我们的部族，那就让我来。
阿娘，等着我。
We thought all his knights were dead.
Tides of Annihilation is set in a broken version of modern London shaped by a fantasy war. Arthurian legend is expected to influence the world and the supernatural enemies within it. Combat is shown using summoned spectral knights that fight beside the main character. The focus appears placed on large-scale magic, myth-driven conflict, and widespread destruction.
You know not of what you speak, except your defeat. Beware!
Nabarak! She's created another folded realm. I can't reach her.
We cannot cross two folded realms, but this spear can. Take the spear.
She's human again.
It seems you do have the capacity to surprise us. Not enough! Change your directives! Even with your new ally, we end this here. Enemy of my enemy, I lend you my strength.
We fight as one.
Tyranno of the night.
escape justice. Justice. There is only the king's will.
Go to hell!
Foolish knight, and your foolish foe. Faced with the agony of truth, you choose the comfort of lies. Loyalty without inquiry is in itself a betrayal. Your loyalty has condemned this man.
Project the Perceiver is positioned as an action game set in a war-torn fantasy world inspired by Chinese mythology. Players are expected to move across rooftops and battlefields while facing dangerous enemies and powerful bosses. Combat is framed around timing, precision, and close-range encounters shaped by different masks and their abilities. The tone points toward a serious and intense journey driven by conviction, conflict, and survival.
那就再唱下去吧。到底是人活进了戏里，还是戏本就因人而在？
为何执意要起兵戈之火？ 这把剑，我本不想沾血。且让你们体会杀戮之苦。
你来了。戏还没演完吗？汤已经灭了。天下易主，救星不存，你还能为何而战？
大唐之命系于4年，人在，则唐不灭。
天下是苍生的天下，粮还是糖，这两个最重要吗？
大唐福泽万年，逆贼杀戮无道，如何相提并论？
一将功成万骨枯，总有人要在阴影里背负罪孽。你那戏里的糖，真是你心中所念的糖吗？
戏仍未终了，而戏中之人早已不知你我。
Soulframe is being developed as a fantasy action game set in a living world threatened by spreading corruption. The story centers on restoring balance by fighting hostile forces tied to nature and decay. Combat is framed around melee weapons, magic, and careful pacing rather than fast gunplay. The tone suggests a slower, more grounded journey focused on atmosphere, struggle, and reclaiming a broken land.
Old soldier's pendant.
The Relic First Guardian introduces a dark fantasy world threatened by a spreading void. Progress is structured around gathering relic fragments tied to ancient power. Third-person combat and exploration move together as core systems. The tone focuses on guardianship, sacrifice, and looming collapse.
Left behind. Father, the wind blew again today. Mother says the wind is you.
Though the steps never returned, their waiting became the wind that circles the hill. Only the pinwheel remembers the love of a family.
Fable returns to the world of Albion with a renewed fantasy setting and classic tone. The world reflects personal reputation, morality, and growing legend. Combat and exploration support a character-focused journey through Albion. Humor and consequence remain central to the game's identity.